Hello everyone, welcome to the stream of the Interservices F1 Championship, the third race of the season, and it is in Monza. Sorry about the slight delay on the stream. But yeah, we're going in Monza. It's going to be a very interesting race. The lead driver in the championship is Nemesis at the moment. He's unable to attend today. One second, let me quickly get up the standings so you guys know how the standings are going. So, you've got Nemesis in first and Phoenix in second. So there is about 13 points. Yes, it is full damage queen here. Yep. Oh, and we have one person already out. Just remembered, we are in practice first. Yeah. At the moment. As for the standings, who is winning the championship so far? It is the RAF. Then it's the Army and Navy. So that is the current few standings that is going on this race. Yeah, just waiting for everyone to retire, and then we'll start with qualifying. So Monza is a 5.793 kilometers in Monza in Italy. We've got one person left to retire, and let's hope I don't know how it's going to go this week because I haven't actually seen any of them practice this race. And here we go, into qualifying. I feel like my sound's not brilliant, but we'll figure that out while we're actually in the race. If you guys can't hear it, yeah, we should be able to hear it. So the first Grand Prix at this track was in 1950, and the lap record is a 1:21.046 by Rubens Barrichello for Ferrari, and in 2004. So pretty fast lap. Surprised that's not broken. What else? So Lewis Hamilton has the most pole positions, and the most wins are equal with Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. We have a few drivers going on track. Once they get out of the pits, we will. There we go. We've got a few that are coming out on track. Let's see if we can find who was the first one, which will be K Spire. Let's see how they do for the first outlap. And when I've raced on this track, I find it it's quite hard because you can easily lose it. So last time I raced this one was at the practice session for Interservices, and I got beached on that corner, which isn't brilliant. And it looks like quite a lot of the grid are heading out So there aren't many overtaking spots other than the straights on this track. To get to turn 1 in the race, it's about 472 meters, which is quite a way, but then you've got a really tight chicane. And as K-Spire goes around the final corner and starting his push lap to get that time on the board, and there is a caution in sector 3, so I think someone may have had a bit of a moment. My game is quiet. Sorry about that. That'll be my setting itself. Let me quickly audio. That should be a bit better. I don't want it overpowering. Hey Foxy ears, welcome in. So let's see what time K-Spire has for this first lap. Now, there are a lot of people out on track. You've got a few people that have just have just come out of the pits to go onto their outlap. Still, again, another moment in sector 3 now. That could possibly be people getting ready for their lap. But we will see. It is green at the moment. The final corner is going to take the esports line, going as close to that white line as possible, and that is a 1:20.07. And Orthodox and Player Gibbs has just beaten that time. Let's see, Unknown I think is currently on a lap. Seems to have a bit of a moment in sector 1, 2, 1 and 3. Okay, I think someone may have had a bit of a moment. And Player Gibbs tops the standings, and can Unknown be on top as he goes round the last corner, and he sits at a 1:20. Tomit Tristan is still on his lap. Let's see how he does it. So Tristan has one of the later runners on the grid, just to let the track evolution carry on. And Phoenix has just taken pole position at a 1:18. Oh, and Dangerous Dodo has just beaten him. And Tristan is now in P12 with Jack Goran and Proven. Both have yet to set a time, so they are going to wait for the track to be used a lot more, so they can produce a faster time. So we will most likely be waiting for a minute or two, just while the rest wait in the pits, wait for the track evolution to then do another lap and try and beat Dangerous Dodo's fastest time of a 1:18.579. And we've got Proven, who has just come out onto an outlap to set that crucial time on the board. And we have Player Gibbs that has just topped the chart at a 1:18.564. So there's not much in it on the top 3. So I think it's going to be a decent race into turn 1. But you don't want to overdo it in turn 1. because that could cause an accident, which would be probably a safety car, as Proven is about to start the lap. He's deploying battery along the straight. This just gives him a bit more speed. And nice chicane on turn 1. There's a bit of... Don't know if that helps revving the engine a bit too much out of a corner. And you've got a Red Bull, I think, who is just cruising on their outlap. They will be getting out of the way in a minute when Proven gets a bit closer. And are they going to move? No, they do not move. They make Proven go slightly off his racing line, which is slightly... Some people drive it slightly different. And Proven is not burning any battery down here. That could be because he's not got enough battery and he wants to leave it till this last little bit of the straight to see what we can get. And he goes P6. Now we will head to the Red Bull of Bomber and see what he can set. So now he's sitting at the back of the grid at a 1:21.09. Now let's see how he does. So he is burning battery. However, he does have a bit of traffic on this lap, unfortunately. So as long as the traffic gets out of the way, you should be good. Someone's had a bit of a moment in Sector 1, probably letting someone past. That's a bit of a slidey car through that chicane. That's not going to be good. He's gone for a very loose back end drive of the vehicle. And that will definitely be invalidated, unfortunately. So Bomber will most likely be going back into the pits to redo that lap. Now let's ride on board with Unknown and see how this lap is. I think he is pushing. Yep, he is definitely pushing this lap. And we have a new fastest lap by Dangerous Dodo at a 1:18.212. And Phoenix has just topped that with a 1:18.195. Now we've got a few people who are on track and they are making their fastest laps. Possibly could be the last lap they do. We are going to ride on board with Jack Lemon, who is just starting on his outlap and pushing towards his lap. So now he's sitting in P7 at the moment. There is about 7 minutes left of qualifying. There is still a lot of track evolving. The track is still evolving, so there is still a lot of time to make does Jack Lemon get as his time? So, can he improve? Yes, he improves to P6 with a 1:18.745. Now, what Jack Lemon's probably going to do is drive back to the pits as quickly as possible, and then go and get a fresh new set of softs and go for another push lap closer to the time. Let's ride on board with Jack Goring, which I assume he is on a hot lap, try and gain position. At the moment, he is sitting comfortably in P5. And no, he goes straight into the pits. What about the asset? See if he is on a push lap. He looks like he's on a push lap, but they could... I don't think he's on a push lap, you know. I think he's going straight into the pits, so we're all going to go and get a fresh set of softs. Yep, fresh set of softs ready for their last lap around of the track. As it stands, the three contenders for pole position will be Phoenix, Dodo and Gibbs. Now, they are the closest ones together. Asset could probably be in there, so it is quite tight with the first three, and then it kind of the gap gets a bit bigger. But with the track evolving, anything could happen. We've got Tomic Tristan, who is on his outlap. For this week, Tristan's teammate is Jack Lemon. Tristan will be trying to push, so he is comfortably up next to his teammate to help with the strategy and gain places. So we have 3 drivers on track as Tristan starts his lap now. I'm pretty sure there is a driver that has just come out and is on the racing line. Is Dodo moves out the way. That was very close to the edge for Tristan there, nearly dipping the tyre in the gravel, which is what you do not want in this race, or in qualifying altogether. He's going to take some of these corners a bit more carefully as he burns some battery down the straight. Now, can Tristan improve? Now, has Tristan put another lap of fuel? Because he could recharge his battery and go again, and that sets him in P12 with a 1:19. Let's go have a look and see AJP. He's just on an outlap, so we will see how their final qualifying lap will be. you got Phoenix, who is also on an outlap, and I think Dodo is on his hot lap, which will be interesting to see how he does, because they're very close to Phoenix, as they both are on push laps, to see what they can do. Who will be on pole position? There's a bit of a moment nearly then by Dodo, but he kept it on track in the white lines. And that's P1 by a bit of a margin. Let's have a look at Phoenix, who is close to finishing his lap. See what he gets. See how aggressive he takes those corners, and it works out well for him. And Phoenix does not go on top. Dangerous Dodo is going to take pole position as we watch Jack Goring take the final corner of his lap and see if he improves from P6. No, he goes straight into the pits. And that, I think Jack Lemon's just on an out. Just on a lap, he's not pushing because he has completed. Same with Dangerous Dodo, who I think is technically on a lap, but has finished. He is pole position by 0.046, so there's not much in it either. So we have Dangerous Dodo, Phoenix, Player Gibbs, The Asset, Jack Lemon, Jack Goring, Proven, Stevie Mac, YB Orthodox, Rich, AJP, Atomic Tristan, Hames, K Spryer, Unknown, and Bomber. That is the grid. There is 16 people on the grid. It will be an interesting race. See how corner 1 will go, because they've got a long straight into a very slow corner. Now we are just currently going to wait for everyone to change what tyre strategy they're going for. So I think they'll probably go for a hard medium, but it also depends on the tyre degradation. So it can go both ways. I don't know if it'd be a 2-stop, but most of the drivers will probably end up doing a 1-stop, trying to push the car to its limits and hope for no punctures. So there will be a bit of time lost due to pit stops, which will take about 24.3 seconds, depending if they have that perfect pit stop. So the last 5 drives around Monza, there has been 5 different pole sisters. I can't remember who this year's is, but 2024 it was Lando Norris, 23 was Carlos Sainz, then 22 was Charles Leclerc, 21 Max Verstappen, and 2020 was Lewis Hamilton. As for the last 5 winners, you have Charles Leclerc in 2024, Max Verstappen in 23 and 22, and you also have Daniel Ricciardo in McLaren as your 2021 winner, and then Pierre Gasly in AlphaTauri in 2020. So the drivers in F1, they generally find it hard to overtake at Monza due to the DRS on the straights, which allows extra speed, so it's quite hard to overtake. But also, I don't know what the weather will be like. Welcome in, Turfy. We are just waiting for the race to begin once everyone is ready and set up. So I think nearly everyone is ready to start racing. Okay, and I think we're going to get underway in just a second. Just waiting for everyone to do that ready up button. And then we will go on to the formation lap. And here we go. So the formation lap is underway. So Dodo leads the pack into turn 1 to warm up the tyres. He doesn't want to go too quick to burn those tyres too quickly because he's got quite a few laps to do on them. He wants to keep them as fresh as possible, but also wants to warm them up. As the rest of the grid follow him around the track. You've got Bummer here in last place, who can slow down and make first place Dodo cool his tyres as he waits for the rest of the grid to form up. I am not racing because I'm streaming. I'm doing the commentary. And also I need a lot more practice before I do this sort of racing. So the possible strategies is a 2-stop or a 3-stop. Now, we've got Dodo, who is on mediums. I did not have a look at the tyres. Let's quickly have a look at the tyres. So you've got most of the field doing mediums. Hard, only 2 drivers, and softs, only 1 driver. Yeah, so I need to no. Interval. Okay. And away we go. See who leads into turn 1. Dodo has a great start. Bit of a lock-up from the Alpine of Jack Lemon there. And we have Tristan, who has had to cut the corner. As Dodo still leads into turn 1, and Asset might be looking at overtaking as he's already up 1 place. Player Gibbs has fallen behind slightly. After that, you've got Proven, Jack Goring, Stevie Matt. Jack Lemon has lost a few places there. And Bummer has gained quite a few as well, up into P12 from his P16 start. And let's put the gap. So these are the position changes. So Asset's gone up 1, Player Gibbs has gone down by 1. You've got Proven, who has gone up by 2. Jack Goring has stayed the same. Stevie Mack has gone up 1, and Jack Lemon has gone down 3. AJP has gone up 2. Orthodox has gone down by 1. Same with Rich. Hames has gone up 1, K-Spire has, and Bomber has gone up 2, but has just lost a position. And that is a Aston Martin had to cut the track, the chicane. So who are close at starting an attack? And it would be Jack Lemon and Orthodox. I think that may have been a very easy place given, as there was not much fighting. Now, as we watch Rich, who is in the Williams, close the gap on Orthodox, as Orthodox is staying close to Jack Lemon, as the gap above increases for Dodo and Jack Goring looks like he is chasing down Stevie Mack, and there has just been an overtake between... Ooh, and we have proven overtakes Rich. And Dodo has set the fastest lap on the 3rd lap. And there has been a bit of a moment for Rich as he's just lost another 2 places. And as Bomber closes in to try and get a crucial P13. And Stevie Mack is looking like he is closing into Jack Goring. Same with Jack Lemon is chasing Stevie Mack down. Oh, there was a bit of a lock up there into that corner. So the gaps are starting to form between the front of the grid. You got your middle pack, and then you've got the back pack who Bomber has looks like he's just made a bit of a mistake as Tristan overtakes Bomber. So if there's going to be a big DRS train as Orthodox gets closer and closer to Jack Lemon, and AJP has not got the straight line speed to keep up with Jack Lemon and Orthodox. But he brakes later and gains a bit of a scrolly moment. Hams, yeah, it's easier just to say it as one name. And Bummer gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting a corner, so he's done that 3 times, as he's really struggling at the bottom of the grid. If we move up closer, the gap between Stevie Mack, Jack Lemon and Orthodox is very close, as Dodo carries on with his lead, with Phoenix slowly catching up to him. Asset is now on P4, so Player Gibbs, after that moment at the start, has gained a position, and that is Jack Goring that's just been spun. I was looking at the writing, so I think there may have been a bit of contact, maybe. We will find out as Jack Lemon overtakes, and that was a bit of a moment there between Jack Lemon and Stevie Mack. And Bomber has a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Orthodox is quite close to Jack Lemon, so keep an eye on these 3 as Asset claimed P3 back from Player Gibbs. Does Jack Lemon have the speed to catch up with Stevie Max? Not on this lap, as Player Gibbs is just in front. I think he had some internet issues today, so it is currently ghosted. And we have the other Williams, who is currently in the pits. I think tire the tire deg is quite quick on this track, as that they should not be ghosting, but he ghosted, as Jack Lemon is still trying to do the attack on Stevie Mac, but not close enough, as Orthodox is looking to overtake player Gibbs. We've got and Jack Lemon's going for the move. No, he backs out. Does he have enough grip to overtake him? No, he doesn't. So I think Jack Lemon, the best he could do is probably wait, stay behind, gain some battery, try and keep up, and then just burn a load of battery to overtake, or pit to overtake. Player Gibbs is catching up as well as he looks to do the overtake. Is he going to do the overtake? Yes, there's a bit of contact there as well. So it's now a three-way fight for P4. Now, Player Gibbs goes on the inside. Do you think he can make it? Yes, he breaks later, and that is Jack Lemon in P6 as Player Gibbs makes the attempts an overtake on Stevie Mac on the straight. Case Breyer has a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Very easy to do on any track. And that is Player Gibbs back up to P4 after his disconnect, as we watch Stevie Mac and Jack Lemon carry on the battle. Now, as it's lap 8, they're probably feeling the tyre wear about now. Which isn't brilliant for them, especially when they're trying to do on-track battles. Orthodox is closing up on Jack Lemon, and Proven is closing up on Orthodox as well, so it's a four-way battle for P5. As Dangerous Dodo is still in P1, keeping that lead consistent, but by the looks of it, Phoenix is catching up rapidly. Proven is catching up with Orthodox. A bit of a moment there from Orthodox. You can see the back of the car just being a bit squirrely. And there is a moment there for Proven. As they go into the pit. Everyone is going into the pits right now. As we watch on board the leader come out of the pit. As the safety car is out. This means no one will be able to overtake through pit stops. The strategy won't work today because they've all boxed under the safety car. Stevie Mack has left the session. So I think it's a 50% chance that it's a safety car will be produced on a track like this. The safety car isn't going in this lap. We'll have another lap under safety car. So we could have a few more laps under the safety car. Currently on lap 11 out of 27. So there's been a lot of overtakes. At the moment you've got Dodo, Phoenix, Asset, Player Gibbs, Jack Clement, Orthodox, Jack Goring, Proven, AJP, Atomic Tristan, Hames, Unknown, K-Spire, Bomber and Stevie Mack currently. Now what Phoenix and Asset want to do, they want to try and get a good start to try and get that P1 position into the run of turn 1. Now Dangerous Dodo does have a penalty, so we will have a look at the penalties. He's got a 10-second penalty, so he was speeding in the pit. So currently he will be P10, I'd say. So he ideally wants to get a 10-second lead to get rid of that penalty. Now everyone has already stopped. Now you've got your 2 stops that have already been. Most people are on hards. Bomber is on softs and Hames is on mediums. Right. They're doing another lap on the safety car. Now, does a safety car go in this lap, or is it going to do another lap? Allow Stevie Mac to catch up with the pack. Safety car is in this lap. So Dodo is leading the pack once again. Now, when does Dodo decide to put the power down? Does he wait till the end of the corner? Nope. He goes now. Nope, he is still waiting. He's slowing the pack down as he goes back to racing. Has he managed to keep that P1 position? Yes, he has, as we have Asset overtake player Gibbs. And we've got a lot of movement in the back of the grid as well. Let's have a look around the back of the grid. Here we go, you've got so Jack Lemon is closing up on player Gibbs, which he ideally wants to try and get a P4. And Nono's just got a 3-second penalty now. Dangerous Dodo has a penalty, so will he go in and serve it, or will he hold that penalty to the end of the race? As Bummer goes into the pits again to get rid of those soft tyres that he put on. And there was a little bit of contact there. Right, let's ride on board with this group. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, as Jack Gorek dips a tyre. Now you got Orthodox, which is closing into Jack Lemon. And you got Proven behind him. They're all back close together. There is a fight going on at the front here between Jack Goring and player Gibbs. Now yep. Asset has just been overtaken. And there was nearly contact there as player Gibbs shut the door on Jack Goring. Jack Goring has a lot of pace right now, and he's ready to take the fight to get a podium spot. A crucial spot as he tries to go in the inside, doesn't get past. Bit of a moment there for player Gibbs. Now so Jack Goring will have the DRS, which will help him down this straight as he gets the overtake done, but it's not done quite yet because Asset's just gone past player Gibbs. Now Jack Goring has a 3-second penalty as player Gibbs is looking to overtake Asset once more. So player Gibbs wants to stay 3 seconds, within 3 seconds of Jack Goring to get that crucial podium position. As he comes back and wants to take the inside, doesn't quite, as Jack Goring locks up a little bit and player Gibbs gives him a little bit of a bump going through turn 1. I think if penalties given, they should be served within 2 laps. No, so I don't. It's only if it's a drive-through you have to serve them within 2 laps. If it's speeding in the pit lane, you can serve them at any point in the race. And player Gibbs isn't. Well, he is gaining on Jack Goring, but Jack Goring's trying to make the rest of his race clean. Ooh, that wouldn't be great for the car there, taking up a lot of that curb. As we go on board with Jack Lemon, who looks like he may be going to go for the overtake on Asset along the straight, possibly. You've got Orthodox that is coming into the fight. And Rich have just switched positions. Is Orthodox going to launch the attack? He wants to launch the attack, but he doesn't, as Phoenix takes the fastest lap. Bomber's just got a 3-second penalty. Ooh, and we have a car off track, and that is Orthodox. Had a bit of a moment, dipped into the gravel, and loses a few places. As Orthodox has a bit more speed, but doesn't go for the overtake on Jack Goring. At the moment, there are just a lot of DRS battles. As there is an overtake happening, Jack Goring is overtaking Jack Lemon. Jack Lemon hasn't given much of a fight. And there is an overtake between Asset and player Gibbs, as player Gibbs takes that P3 as Asset goes a bit deep and has to slow down, but makes a corner. Jack Goring has caught up to Asa and takes that P4 position, ready to fight player Gibbs. Out in front, you've got a change of lead. Phoenix is now P1 with Dangerous Dodo in P2. And Asa goes on the... Ooh, it could go 3 wide. No. Jack Goring now takes P3 with Asa closely following behind. As player Gibbs is trying and is very close to overtaking, as they're now nearly going 3 wide into the final corner. And there's a bit of contact. Ooh, and oh no, there was a bit of a moment there. That's player Gibbs now out of the point, dropped all the way to P9. Proven is now trying to catch up with Jack Lemon, and he does so as they nearly go 3 wide, just about makes a corner. There's a bit of contact. Player Gibbs is now on an attack to try and gain those positions that he lost. Now Rich has been given a time penalty, same with Stevie Mack, as we go to the fighting positions for P3. Now if Jack Goring does not gain a 3-second advantage, then he loses that P3 position as player Gibbs moves into P6. Let's have a look at penalties. So, if player Gibbs overtakes Jack Goring, neither of them will be sitting at that podium position. So Jack Goring is pulling away from the pack, so no one's in his DRS, so that gives him a bit of a nicer run as we move on to player Gibbs, who overtakes his teammate and tries to go for the attack. And overtakes Asset. Asset's coming back at player Gibbs. He has a speed on the outside, but pulls back, doesn't want to go too wide into the chicane, which is definitely what you don't want to do. As we go further back, you've got Jack Lemon catching up to Orthodox, and Rich. Jack Goring is pulling away nicely as he's broken that 3-second gap. Tristan is out of Stevie Mac's DRS, but we've got quite a few people on this DRS train. Stevie Mac is the last one. And Stevie Mac is going for the inside attack while in front, and goes into the back of Jack Lemon. That must have not felt great while he was just trying to stay behind clean racing. Proven is now going on the attack. Dodo has a 3-second time penalty. Now that won't actually, that means he's got 13 seconds, because I don't think Dodo's served that 10-second speeding in the pit lane penalty. So as it stands, Phoenix and Jack Goring will be P1, P2. Phoenix has overtaken Dodo. Take that P1 position. Now you've got Stevie Mac back in the fight. You've got Player Gibbs has gone to the pit to get rid of his penalty. Stevie Mac now overtakes Jack Lemon. Same with Proven. Jack Lemon's still got the speed, keeping the momentum up. He's thinking about it, and he decides not to. Not the best corner to overtake, as he has a bit of a slide, loses a few seconds, a few tenths even, as we ride on board with Proven, who is catching up to Stevie Mac. Stevie Mac has a crucial DRS from the two drivers in front. Proven does not go for the overtake. He doesn't have enough speed, and it isn't close enough to do it in that corner. But you can see Stevie Mac has a lot more aggression into that corner and takes a lot more speed, so isn't able to overtake. Another penalty for AJP. Player Gibbs is now currently sitting at P14. Now he's just done a pit stop, so I assume he may have put softs on. We will have a look and see what he's on. Fresh medium. So, and there is a moment. YB Orthodox has just been spun round. And now it's in P11. Right, as we ride on board with Stevie Mac, who dips a tyre into the gravel, which isn't good at this stage because the tyres are already worn. And Proven has just overtaken. That wasn't much of a fight from Stevie, as he has a lot more speed and momentum and has to slow down into that corner. And does he do the overtake here? No, he lifts off slightly. He doesn't want to overtake into the final corner. He wants a crucial DRS coming down into the straight, as he's burning off all the battery he can to get into P6. Well, Player Gibbs is sitting in P13 with the fastest lap of the race, as we are coming on to the last few laps of the race. So this is a tyre wear. So Stevie Mac has got a lot more tyre wear than Proven, but as you can see, Proven is a bit quicker now. If we go a bit further back, we've got Jack Lemon that is catching up to Proven. As Proven tries the overtake on Stevie Max and is unable to overtake. And Jack Lemon, is he going to go into the turn, the last corner? No, he is probably going to keep that momentum and get the DRS down the final straight. Nope, he goes for the overtake. He doesn't have enough grip to be able to get the traction down, the grip to speed around. Now he goes to the inside with Proven pushing him slightly as they lock up. Both of them lock up into that corner slightly, but they're still racing for P7. And we are on the final lap. We will head to our leader. Who crosses in P1, Phoenix, Dangerous Dodo. Jack Goring is the next one to cross. And the Asset in P4 with Richie coming across the line in P5. Stevie Mac, Proven. Ooh. So Stevie Mac has crossed in P9. Orthodox has just crossed in P10. Clay Gibbs. Hames is crossing the line in P13. Unknown and Bomber are the last two remaining to cross the line. So the grid goes Phoenix, Dangerous Dodo, Jack Goring, The Asset, Proven, Rich, Jack Lemon, Atomic Tristan, Stevie Mac, YB Orthodox, Player Gibbs, K Spire, Hames, AJP, Unknown, and Bomber in last place. As we ride on board as he crosses the line. We sit on the podium with Phoenix, Dodo, and Jack Goring. Thank you for joining the stream today. We will catch you next time in about 2 weeks for round 4 of the Interservices. Until next time, bye.